everyone, and welcome back for another episode of Karen About Wrestling. I'm your host, Karen the Intern. I'm so excited. We have an awesome show for you guys tonight. But of course, as always, we're going to start out with letting you guys know where you can check out some live shows. June 22nd, we are at James Bay, Victoria. We got a double header. The evening show is being billed as a night of violence. So you should definitely check out both shows. Get your tickets. June 29th, 12th at the Red Chevron. And August 3rd and 4th, Grand Bend Speedway Wrestle Fest. So all your tickets are going to be at 365prowrestling.com. I want to remind you guys, we're always looking for volunteers. So if you are interested in working for the 365 production crew or volunteering and helping out at shows, make sure that you let somebody know at a live show. Come talk to any of us. And of course, you can reach us through all of our social media as well. Just a reminder, of course, we have our sister shows here on the 365 YouTube channel. We've got Island Main Event Tuesday and Combat. So you definitely want to check those out as well. Make sure you like and subscribe to the 365 Pro Wrestling YouTube channel. And as always, we're always looking for comments. So make sure you make some comments below. Ask us what wrestlers you'd like us to interview, or if you have any questions for wrestlers, just put them below and we'll make sure that we ask those in an upcoming episode. All right, without further ado, I have one of the original still active wrestlers on Vancouver Island, a highly decorated champion in 365 and VIPW. He is currently managed by the purple one, Ramon Carlton. He is known as the Lord's Warrior. My guest this evening, Lak Siddartha.
Well, Karen, I must say I'm in a good mood today, and you lucked out, so yeah.
Oh, thank goodness, because my heart's pounding a little bit. I'm not going to lie.
Well, like Ramon said before, you're not on any of our lists, so.
Oh, that's good. That's good. That's good. I'm very happy to hear that. I want to stay on your good side. That's for sure. That's the side that I want to be on. Definitely. All right. So are you in the mood to answer some questions, maybe? Your fans have some questions. I certainly do. I'm new around here.
Yeah, sure. Why not?
Yeah?
Yeah, let's try it out.
Yay! Yeah. Okay. But if you are feeling like angry or hostile at any time, please feel free to step away if you need a break to, so that we...
So far, I think we should be okay.
Okay. All right. Just want to make sure. All right. So, I've heard you've been wrestling for a really long time.
Yeah, I think it's been about 20 years now.
20 years. That is a long time in wrestling terms, right?
Yeah, in wrestling terms, yeah.
A lot of people don't have super long careers, getting injured or whatever. And so, but you've managed to be wrestling for 20 years. That's awesome. What made you decide to become a wrestler in the first place?
It was just a thing that I've seen, even watching it back when I was a little guy. I remember seeing Warrior and Hogan, and Ultimate Warrior was my favorite. And that's who I pretty much took my persona after. And then I was like, you know what, I want to try this when I get older. And that's pretty much what I did. And going to, I believe it was WrestleMania 23 in Seattle, 19, sorry. And that's where I knew what I wanted to do after that when I saw those guys there wrestling.
Really? Was that the first time you'd seen that like live that way, or?
It was first time I'd seen that huge show live like that.
Yeah. I've never been to a WrestleMania live, so
it was amazing.
Wow. So what was the biggest match that night? Like, what are some of your memories from that night?
That's the night that Brock Lesnar broke his neck from that shooting star press to Kurt Angle.
Are you serious?
Yeah. I was there live for that, and I remember he was going to the top, and he was shaking. I remember his legs vibrating. I'm like, what is he doing? He's not going to jump from there, is he? And he did, and yeah, I think he hesitated, and he screwed up that big move.
Wow, that is so crazy. I can't believe you were there for that.
Yeah, no, it was pretty amazing. And yeah, watching that live was kind of cool. And those other matches, like Chris Jericho versus Shawn Michaels, I really like that match.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. That was a good one. Yeah.
That's so fantastic, man. So I'm from Calgary originally. So although I haven't seen like any big like WWF, WWE type
Mhm.
things, I did get to watch some Stampede Wrestling back in the
Oh,
day.
nice.
So, I
Yeah.
mean, it's kind of like a big deal, I've heard in the wrestling.
It is. Yeah, for sure it is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it's nice to come from a wrestling town for sure. So, speaking of Calgary, I heard you did a little bit of training out there.
Yeah, so I had my tryouts for WWE in 2010. They were interested in me, and they said that they needed me to get polished up by somebody that was already in WWE. So I went to go see Lance Storm and trained with him for 3 months, and I learned quite a bit off of him. And yeah, he was a really awesome trainer, really nice at knowing what to do in the ring. The psychology taught me and whatnot, and yeah, it was really good. Yeah,
Oh, that's what a great
yeah, it
opportunity.
was a really good opportunity.
Awesome. So, I imagine you've trained a couple different places. Where else have you
I
trained?
did before that. I was at Hart Brothers School of Wrestling in
Okay.
Cambridge, and I had trained with people like the Highlanders. Eddie Osborne was there. I trained with him at the time, so I've known Eddie Osborne for a while now. Me and him have a history of past, whatever you may want to call it.
Awesome.
Other than that, yeah, I just was out there for a bit, but I guess when I went to the WWE, they just needed somebody from WWE to train me, is what they wanted. And then what happened was just life got in the way and just never had the chance to go back to Florida and see them. They sent me emails to offer me more stuff like at Tough and Off and all that, but nah, never had the chance.
It just never worked out.
No, but then when I grew up on the island, I was like, well, I can do it locally here. It seems like I can do it here and still do my thing, what I need to do in life, and worked out perfect.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, I have to say, like the very first time that I ever came to a show on the island
Mhm.
was at James Bay, the what's the place called? The White Eagle
White
Polo Show.
Eagle, yes.
And you wrestled that night.
Mm.
And I remember there was lots of, I mean, everybody's great in 365 for sure. Lots of great wrestlers. But I remember when you came out, I was like, whoa, what is going to happen now?
Yeah, the persona I bring to the ring can be terrifying for a lot of people. I know I've made kids cry. Um,
Really?
I remember one time in Campbell River, it was at actually a PWA event, and there was a mom that came up to me and she said, "Are you that guy in the cape?" I said, "Yes, I am that person in the cape." And she said, "Is there any way you can come talk to my kid because he's terrified to go back into the arena or the
Oh,
venue to watch you wrestle?" And I was like, "All right, I'll break out of character for now and talk to him." And so that's what I did, and
aw.
he felt a bit better. But yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Oh, little guy.
yeah.
I
So yeah.
can relate a little bit. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, well, I guess somebody hanging upside down like that, yelling, screaming, it's not the most careful, or I
Yeah.
guess you could say most terrifying thing is what you would think it is, though.
Yeah. But I guess in some ways, like it's a way of like taking out some like aggression or whatever. Like I can imagine when you're like he's screaming like that and like throwing yourself upside down in the corner. That's gotta feel like
Oh,
you're
yeah, you get a lot of aggression taken out for sure.
yeah.
And, yeah,
Not to mention the actual wrestling part too.
yeah, that too, of
Yeah.
course, yeah. But yeah, I had a lot of opponents, I had a lot of tough opponents, a lot of tough challenges, but yeah, with the characters I've got, he gets through most of them, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's so. What about tag teams? I see you a lot. I mean, occasionally you have like a partner for a match or whatever, but
Right
yeah.
now it's me and Dane, sorry. Me and Dane are doing um tag right now, and I've been in other tags with I had a tag partner named Jesse Jones. We were in Money and Power. Went for
Okay.
a bit. That was in Ontario, and we went for a bit and had a good run with him for a little bit. Yeah, I've had tag partners here and there come and go, but and some of them do still wrestle, some of them don't.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I want to say I think the name that my research team gave me was it Monsters of Mayhem? Is that
The
what it is?
Mayhem, me and Cremator, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That
that
sounds pretty
was.
deadly.
Well, yeah, it's two monsters, two unstoppable forces put together, and it's just like the Brothers of Destruction almost, apparently. Yeah. Once me and Cremator get together, there's probably no tag team that can probably survive the terror that we can bring to them. And
No.
yeah,
Any chance of that tag team ever coming back?
it's been in um, thoughts of people, and I think a lot of promoters have thought about putting us together, but so far I haven't heard anything. So yeah.
Cremator.
Well, yeah, like I said, anything happens and could happen at any time.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
that's the great thing about 365 wrestling, right? Anything can happen. You
And
just
Female
never
and
know.
I think we're the first ones to hold PWA and VIPW tag titles at the same time. So
Oh,
we got two major belts at the one time, which was good. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. Well, you are a very decorated champion. We're going to talk more about that. But first of all, we're going to take a teeny tiny little commercial break. Don't you guys go anywhere. We're going to be back with a lot more Karen about wrestling and Lak Siddartha.
You're on 30 seconds. Sorry. Yeah. Sorry, it is what it is, but yeah. Sure. How you doing?
I'm good.
Try not to scare her too much. Good. We probably stay calm. Yeah.
A new list, hang on. Oh, good, still no Karen. And then Jen.
And we are back with Karen About Wrestling. I'm your host, Karen the Intern, and my guest tonight is Lak Siddartha. All right, we're into segment 2. How you feeling so far?
Not too bad.
Good, I'm glad. All right, so we were just talking about belts before the break. You are what has been described to me as one of the most decorated wrestlers on the island. You've held many belts over the years. You're not currently holding one though,
Not right now, no.
but you're after one?
Yes, there is one I have in mind, yes.
Yes.
Mhm.
Do you care to share, or is this like top secret?
Uh, well, I mean, I've been Vancouver Island champion. I've been, I guess, three-time global champion, and I've held the pure violence title. I've also had tag team titles with Cremator and whatnot. And right now, after getting majority of the titles on the island, I guess right now my scopes are for the 360 title, championship title is what I'm trying to go for right now. And
Nice.
see how that goes. But yeah.
Well, that's great. I mean, I think if anybody has a chance at it, it's probably you.
Well, I know I've been up there a few times, and sure, I haven't been successful for a majority of those champs, but every time I get knocked down, I get back right back up, and I make myself back to the top. And
Yeah.
it's a habit that the Lord's Warrior has to make sure he's undefeated to make it back to the top and
Yeah.
be another number one contender for a title.
I believe it. I believe it. I think it's going to happen for you. So I wanted to ask you a little bit about Ramon Carlton. So what made you decide that he would make a good manager, or was it your decision? Was it somebody higher than your
It's something
decision?
he has, and I can never put it on what it is. And I don't know the thing he has to control the Lord's Warrior, where he got it and how he got it is a mystery to me as well. But somehow it controls me, and I've got to obey it. Something from the Lord that I cannot fight against is what it is. And once again, I have no idea how Ramon Carlton got it. And yeah,
But he did.
he did.
He does.
And he has control over me because of it. But in a way, it's not so bad because I like the way his mind works and the way he controls things and knows what he's doing, I believe. So it
Yeah.
shouldn't be a bad choice of me going with Ramon. And so far, I've enjoyed the ride. So
Excellent, excellent. Well, in my brief interactions with him, I mean, he certainly has enlightened me in some things, and he's guided me in some ways. And so, I guess I kind of see what you're talking
great
about.
guidance, and he's shown me a few things, that's for sure.
Yeah, yeah. Well, and he's pretty well dressed too. I dig
Yeah,
the
he is.
purple,
Yeah,
the purple sequin jacket. It's quite something to behold.
it is. But
Interesting. Okay, so what is the wildest match you've ever been involved in?
Wildest one, I believe it could have been on a lot of them, but I think the most one I've ever was in is TLC match against Elliot Tyler and Jordy Taylor with me and Cremator, and they got the best of us. And I ended up in a body bag that day, and I was gone for a year until I had to revamp to the dark ends of parts unknown and get myself together and bring myself back. And for some reason, ever since I've been back, it's just been unstoppable.
Excellent. Excellent. I just learned actually that a TLC match is table, ladder, chair.
The tables, ladders, and chairs. Yes.
Tables, ladders, and chairs for those out
I
there.
mean, like I said, me and Cremator are a destructive force, and they got lucky by getting us down and taking us out at that time, because that is really rare that that would ever happen.
I would think
But
so.
I'll give them kudos for that.
So that was the wildest match.
I believe that was one of the wildest matches I've been in, yes. The one with Eddie Osborne, the barbed wire match, that was pretty wild. That we had two already.
Yes.
And those were really crazy ones that we had.
They were indeed.
The last one was pretty sharp and pokey, I remember.
Do you have any lasting scars or
I got one on
wounds?
my thumb that just will not go away. I've got a lot on my back and
Oh,
whatnot,
wow.
but for some reason, just the blood does not spew out of the Lord's warrior. But
You just, so the wounds just don't really affect you that much.
they don't affect me as much. In other words, if you can turn pain into pleasurement, you can use it and not be afraid of it.
Oh,
And it doesn't affect you as much either.
interesting. Interesting. That's a very Hellraiser-esque philosophy. For those of you that are into horror movies, you know what I'm talking about. So what is involved with being the Lord's warrior? Like, is it strictly like vanquishing enemies? Is there more to it than that?
Well, see, our Lord Jesus Christ came to this earth to pay everyone's sins, but the sins of man has still been committed. It will always be committed. The cross hangs upside down, dripping the dark blood of the mankind of the flesh that keeps committing that sin. And the Lord's warrior is sent to punish those people that commit the sins that were not supposed to be committed, but still are committed on earth here.
Ooh, that's some work.
Mhm.
There's a lot of sins and a lot of people.
And as me, I don't have forgiveness because I don't think the sins are going anywhere and it's going to be sinful forever. So the beating and the torture will continue.
Okay. Okay.
Your steps in the ring with the Lord's warrior.
Yeah. So how about maybe I shouldn't have gone there exactly, but how has being a wrestler impacted your life?
Well, it's keeping me in tone with the spiritual realm for one, because I can bring that spiritual realm into the wrestling world to show the people of how the Lord's warrior works and does his work for the Lord, to do the Lord's work. Other than that, wrestling has taught me a lot of things of discipline and how to control a lot of things and be more respectful, as well as be more respectful for your veterans and whatnot and people that paved the way for you as well.
Excellent. Yeah, I like that. Definitely.
Mhm.
You want to, yeah, that's an excellent philosophy. I can appreciate
Yeah.
that. So, who has the hardest chop in 365?
I would say it's Eddie Osborne.
Eddie Osborne.
Trying not to sell his shop is one of the hardest things to do. And trying to convert that into pleasure is even harder.
Oh, ooh, good to know. Good to know. I'm sure Eddie will be happy. You know, he's honestly, I think you might be coming in second place, but I think Eddie's in first place so far for who is voted for the hardest chop so far. So, who's the toughest opponent you've wrestled?
I would have to say it would have to be the Cremator.
That it is, eh?
When we went against each other, because he was one of the people that when I gave my finisher to, he sat right back up from it. And no one ever really gets up from the decapitator.
The F5, is that what you're talking
The
about?
F5 decapitator. He got back up from it. When I went to go pin him, he sat up, and that was a shocker to me because no one's ever gotten up from it. But then again, when he gave me his finisher, I was able to sit up. So, yeah, him, and as well, Eddie, BJ. I've had a lot of tough opponents in the ring, and yeah. But yeah,
Who do you want to face next? Who of anybody?
Well, any challengers that come, I'm ready to accept anybody that wants to get in the ring with the Lord's Warrior. But I believe that Alpha Phasma would be a good opponent for the Lord's Warrior.
Ooh.
So if he ever decides to get in the ring with him, I know it's been in the thoughts of people, but it's never happened.
Maybe he's watching right now. Maybe
Well,
maybe he's gonna make that happen.
if he is, the only thing is he will know how the wrath of the Lord feels if he ever gets in the ring with the Lord's Warrior.
I hope that happens for you.
Mm.
So we talked about your finishing move. You have the F5 decapitator, which I mean, I've seen this in action. It is devastating to one's opponent. Like you mentioned, not a lot of people are getting back up from that. So is that a move that was already out there that you adopted, or did you create that move?
Well, originally I think it was Brock Lesnar that created it, from what I seen in WWE, and I think it's been used before that too. But I thought it'd be more of an effective move, so I ended up using it as my persona as well, and my character for the F5 Decapitator. Just changed the name up a bit is what I did. So
Yeah, well, like I said, when you execute that, it is like absolutely devastating. You have some pretty rowdy entrance music. What's that called? Do you know what's the name?
So it's by John 5 called Lust Killer. God made told me to.
Ooh,
So
seems appropriate.
yeah, it fits the character, and
Yeah.
it makes it sound like something's big coming, and there's nothing you can do to stop it. It's coming no matter what.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I think of when
Yeah.
I hear it.
That it's a
For sure.
force coming at you, and you're not stopping it.
All right. Well, speaking of stopping it, we got to take a little break right now, but don't go anywhere. We're going to be right back with more Karen About Wrestling and Lak Siddartha.
How are you doing, Lak? Doing okay? You're good? Good?
So far, so good.
Karen, you okay?
I'm good. I'm good. And we are back. I am Karen the Intern. You're watching Karen About Wrestling, and my guest this evening, Lak Siddartha. So here we are, already segment 3. Can you believe how fast this is going?
It's fun stuff.
I know, right? Trying to just, maybe, when you're having a good time.
Well, that's what happened when you live in the realm of time.
This is also true. Parts unknown, correct?
The
That's
dark ends of parts unknown.
So I was just curious. I'm not familiar with that part of the multiverse.
It is part of the multiverse, yes.
Ooh, glad I got that. Glad I got that. Thank you to my research team for that. Is there any good vacation spots in parts unknown? Like if I was going to travel
Well, it's the
there?
dark end, so I don't think there must be that much of a vacation spot.
Is there other parts, the light end of parts unknown? Do you ever travel, or is it just more the?
It's the dark ends. It's always snowing there. It's always blizzards. It's always cold. The way I like it. The sunny, the hot, the summer. That's disgusting. Like, how do people like that? I hate that crap. That makes me
Okay, so
Anyways,
got it.
enough about that summer weather, because parts unknown, cold weather, dark, always awesome. Yes.
That's way better.
Better.
Okay, I can appreciate that. Winter is coming. Yes.
Winter and fall are my favorite seasons.
Oh, I like that. I am also a big fan of the fall. And since I moved to the island, I like winter a whole lot more because it's not minus 35 here. So what do you do when you're not wrestling, Lak?
I'm always doing the Lord's work. Either way, I'm praising the Lord. I'm thanking Him for the stuff he's done for the Lord's warrior. But the Lord's work is never done and never be done. So other than that, I just do the Lord's work.
Excellent, excellent. I imagine that takes up quite a bit of time. That these the Lord-
Meditating,
yeah.
the being in the lukewarm water just to contact the Spirit of the Lord himself, to know what to do. And that's what Ramon Carlton has taught me as well. After he grabbed that amulet. So from there on, I have been one with the Lord himself, and he has taught me and shown me what sins man keeps committing and what the Lord's warrior must do to drop those sins down to nothing.
Ooh, I like that. You know, like if it seems like a house cleaning you're doing here. Like you're just like almost like Dexter, but not. Maybe it is like Dexter, where you're going after like the scum of the earth, the most sinful, the most
Dexter
terrible.
was a sinful person himself.
Oh, so you would have also killed him.
If he got in the ring with the Lord's word, he would feel the wrath himself. So
Okay, that's good to
he's
know.
not doing the Lord's work as well. He may think he is, but he is not.
He was not. Let that be known. Heard you like to cook. Yeah. What's your favorite thing to cook?
I usually like steak and burgers.
Nice.
A
lot of meat.
A lot of meat. In the
Okay.
diets, yes.
Excellent.
Vegetables as much as I can do as well. Try to keep
Excellent.
it as much balanced as I can as I do train this flesh into giving it the strength that it needs to do the Lord's work.
That makes sense.
The power and the agility that I need in the gym to perform well in the ring as well.
I like that. If you're barbecuing, do you prefer to just cook over a gigantic open flame, or are you more like a gas barbecue guy?
Yeah, open flame.
Open flame, just like sizzle it right up on the open flame. I love that. I love that.
Well, the Lord's warrior soul has been on the earth for thousands of years, but the thing is, the flesh does not last thousands of years, so it travels from flesh to flesh.
Oh.
So therefore, that it's in my flesh to where I must do what I must do.
Right. So you're saying in some way you're like maybe reincarnated from like a past.
That's right. So because of that, I like the open fire.
Right, because like almost like old, like more ancient humans would have just cooked over an open fire. And yes, I'm totally feeling where you're coming from right now. I completely understand what you're talking about. That is awesome. So speaking of reincarnation, do you believe in ghosts or the paranormal?
So reincarnation is the belief is that when you don't learn your lesson on this planet Earth that we live on, and once you don't learn your lesson, you come back to Earth and being punished until you learn your lesson before you can enter the gates of heaven. And once you enter the gates of heaven is when you know what work the Lord has for you after that. And the paranormal, yes, I've had my run-ins with the paranormal as well.
Have you really? Would you care to share one story with me about that at all? I'm so fascinated.
Well, there's demonic creatures that may attack people, and I have managed to be attacked by one time, but he was not able to take me out as I grabbed him by the throat and did what I do best, and I punished that entity until it wanted nothing more to do with me.
Whoa. Whoa.
But that wasn't the parts unknown. And yes, it was after something. And it came in front of the Lord's warrior, and it wished it wasn't upon face to face with me, but it happened.
Whoa. That is intense. I can't say that I've ever had an experience quite like that. I was sort of thinking more like flickering lights or slamming doors. I wasn't expecting demon warfare. But I mean, thank you for sharing that with me. I'm concerned. Are there any demons? Can you just sense them? Do you know where they are?
I do sense them, and being the Lord's warrior, they do fear the Lord's warrior, but there are some that are higher power that do not fear the Lord's warrior, and then they do feel the wrath of the Lord's warrior. And As for myself, being the Lord's warrior, having the number one Lord on your side, you fear nothing but the Lord himself, because he is the one that can take and strip you from your eternity life.
Well, that's good because I'm a little afraid of demons. I'm not gonna lie. I'm a little scared of ghosts and demons generally, but it seems like you were just like not afraid.
The only thing the Lord warrior fears is the Lord himself.
I'm getting you. I'm getting you. That is, whew, that's crazy. Yeah, I wasn't expecting us to talk about demons, but give me a second here. Okay. Let's change the topic ever so slightly and get to everybody's favorite question, which is, of course, what is your favorite dinosaur, Mr. Siddhartha, and why?
I would have to say it's the Tyrannosaurus Rex.
And why the Tyrannosaurus Rex?
He's the king of the dinosaurs, and not many dinosaurs can mess with him. And he does what he does best, and that is he punishes any other dinosaur that gets in his way.
Yeah, I like that. There's no doubt about that. I saw Jurassic Park. That was a very punishing dinosaur.
He was, yes.
Yeah, gigantic.
Oh, yeah.
Nobody's screwing with that dinosaur. No. Okay, so let's see. What about movies? Do you have time do you ever get a chance to like watch a movie or a television show?
I hate movies. I cannot stand some movies. They're just sinful, and the stuff they promote is harmful. And yeah, I'm not a movie kind of guy.
You're not a movie kind of guy. So is that like all media or like TV shows as well are out? Yeah, you don't strike me as a guy that's like easily entertained.
I don't get entertained. I find a lot of things on earth is not much entertaining. There are more entertaining stuff out there than what people proceed on this thing they call the internet or the TV or whatever it is.
I get that. And you're busy doing the Lord's work. So like who's got time for that, right?
For the sinful stuff that they post on there, and it makes me sick to my stomach when I see it.
Just a distraction. Except for this channel and this show and the other shows.
This is a good show.
These are good. Okay. All right. We're almost at the end of the interview. Lak Siddartha, are you ready for a lightning round?
Sure.
Excellent. Excellent. All right. So let's start with Star Trek or Star Wars?
I believe Star Trek.
Star Trek. Interesting. Pineapple on pizza, yes or no?
Yes.
Frozen yogurt or ice cream?
Frozen yogurt.
Potato salad or coleslaw?
Potato salad.
What's your favorite candy?
I'd have to say Warheads.
Nice. That does not surprise me. Macho Man, Hulk, or Ultimate Warrior?
Warrior.
Favorite band?
Iron Maiden.
Nice. Best place to get a hamburger on Vancouver Island?
It's hard to say, but I would probably say Benfor.
Love it. Love it. I'm a big fan too. King Kong or Godzilla?
Godzilla.
What's your favorite YouTube channel? Do you watch any YouTube?
365.
365. Yes. Pizza, burgers, or tacos?
Tacos.
First car you ever owned?
Toyota 88 Toyota Corolla.
Nice. First concert you ever went to?
Iron Maiden.
And what was your favorite part of this interview?
Talking about the Lord and how the Lord's work has been done.
Excellent. Good answer.
To do the Lord's work.
Good answer. So if somebody wanted to connect with you on social media, Lak Siddartha, where would they do that?
They can find me on Facebook. That's the only thing I use. I don't find no Instagram, TikTok, any special. Facebook, look me up under as Lak Siddartha. You'll probably find me.
Excellent. Facebook is the Lord endorsed, I guess you could say. So excellent. All right. So thank you so much for being my guest tonight. I hope you had a good time.
Yeah, it was fun.
I sure did. I feel less scared of you now. Slightly less scared. Yes.
Must return to the parts unknown, dark ends.
That's fair.
Too hot here.
It is indeed. Well, thank you so much for joining me. Thank you for joining us out there in YouTube land. And we hope that you have enjoyed this episode. Make sure you check out everything on 365 Pro Wrestling YouTube channel, all our social media. And we will see you next time for another episode of Karen About Wrestling.
You do that and you'll be doing somewhat of the Lord's work.
Yeah, you will.